1984 LegacyScholarship.org. All the information is there, and it's a simple process.
Yeah, and you know what, Pat, Patricia, I really don't know if it's always just laziness. Sometimes it's fear. I think our kids are afraid that they're going to fail sometimes.
You're absolutely right, and a lot of that stems from what they've been told, what people have said to them, and not being encouraged, you know, throughout their years, and it does have a negative impact on their life, and we don't realize that, but it does. The little things that we say, you don't know what children take from that. I spoke to the youth at Central Dauphin Middle School a couple weeks ago, and my goal was to change their thinking, the way they think about themselves, and how they speak, and what they see in themselves. And what I found, and what I had them do afterwards, I had them journal that event. What did you take from my presentation? And I read those letters, and it was phenomenal. The changes that they wanted to make, and the things that they seen in themselves that they wanted to change. And that was just powerful. That's what we need to do, and see that in our children. Sometimes we don't allow them to speak and be voices, but I think that's what we need to do, so that they can share their thoughts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
700 words is not a daunting task.
It's not.
Like you said, even writing the book, it's just kind of after a while you make the decision to start, it starts flowing.
That's the key. That's the key, Ms. Gaskin, is to start. When you make the decision to start, then it's everything else is peaches and cream.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes,
they
it
will
is.
move forward, but that is just awesome. So is there a time frame where they have to submit applications for the scholarship? When do they need to do that?
Yes, typically we have them submit everything, all their paperwork, their package by March, so that we can make sure that we evaluate and everything is in order, and then we have the a panel, the committee look through everything, and then we have the selection process. So that takes time, because typically school is out, get ready let out in May. They have they give out their scholarship, and they have their ceremony. So we want to make sure that we have enough time to get all that information in, and also be a part of that ceremony in June.
You know, I was blessed enough to be a counselor there at SciTech for a while, and I remember one of the disappointments I had was that, you know, we had information set up about scholarships and, you know, college a little bit, and people come and say, well, there's nothing set up, we don't know it. I said, well, it's right outside the door, it's here, you know, we did presentations the whole bit, and it's just I said to myself, what is it going to take? So it's amazing. So I'm saying to everybody now that's listening to this program, you're putting the call out there.
Yes.
The scholarship is there.
It's there.
People should be applying.
Yes.
And there should be no question about having abundance of candidates.
Exactly.
For this, right?
And
we should.
And young people need to know they can apply for more than one scholarship.
There's so much out there.
Yeah, and sometimes they get, I think you said, they get afraid of that, and it says, well, I already applied for something, so I guess I can't apply for this, because they'll say that I can't get, you know, this scholarship, and that's not true.
Well, they act like they want you to do it for them. It's like, folks, no, come on, the information's here. You have
and
to compete.
the young ladies that we've given the scholarship to, they have other scholarships that they were recipients of. So it's out there. And all you have to do, I mean, it's $500, but that's books. You know, that's books, because you know how expensive books are these days.
Absolutely.
So we want to make sure that we give them every opportunity to be successful. We don't want to give them any opportunity to say, well, I didn't have it, or no one was there for us, no one was looking out for us. The class of 1984 is there for the Harrisburg High students.
Yes. How do you connect the dots? Here you have your book and your motivational speaking and this and that. Then you have your conference, women's conference, phenomenal women, and then you have the class of 1984. So how do you connect those dots to put all that energy together to make sure that, you know, it's successful, is what you're doing?
Well, it's all about service, and because I believe that God orchestrates everything, and He's in charge of everything, whatever I do is because I'm there to serve Him and my community. So I look at it, I don't look at it as a daunting task or tiresome, although there's times where I'm like a little weary, but I keep moving, because then I see the end product. I see the results of my labor, and so I continue to do it, and because it's service, and because I love working with women and love working with the youth, there's a connection. All of them, the pieces are coming together, and so I get excited about it, and I try to share it with other people. They say the same thing you say. Well, how do you find the time? And I'm in school. I'll be graduating again for my second degree in May 2012. So I'm
From
excited
where and
about
what?
that.
What are you getting your degree in? From
And
where?
communications, corporate communication from Dixon, which is a affiliation of Elizabethtown College.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Go ahead for you.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Oh, my
thank you,
goodness.
thank you. So
That's
I'm excited
wonderful.
about
And
that.
also, Nate, how you do all these things. Then you have 2 daughters and a husband.
I have a son
And a
and
son.
a daughter.
Oh, husband,
yes,
yes.
yes, and so there, yes,
Yeah.
so and a husband.
Yeah.
So it is very. Thank God I have a good husband, and
Okay.
he's very supportive, and he's there. You know, so when you have a good foundation, you're able to accomplish a lot. Yes.
Fantastic.
That is
yeah.
just wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as you look, I understand you're looking at possibly another book.
Yes.
Do you have other aspirations? You're a motivational speaker, or you really want to get on the circuit and get out there nationally, or what?
I do. I want to take the Phenomenal Conference nationally. I really
All right.
want to take it. I've also thought about doing what you guys do, you know, interviewing people and
sure.
being a spokesperson for, an advocate for children and our youth. And, there's a lot that I want to do in the time that, you know, God allows me on earth. So I just want to not waste any time.
That's right.
And try to make the best of every day.
That's right.
And that's, you know, it's just what I do, you know. I just love being a servant.
Amen. And you're always well put together too. I mean, what you see right now,
Yeah.
folks, and you're all,
thank
every time I see
Yeah, I know she
her,
is.
she's always
Like
dressed to the
last-
nines and
yeah,
does it
Thank
up
you,
just
thank
right.
you.
Class, way to go, way
Yeah.
to go. And in a sense, your conference is a national conference. I mean, you're bringing in Lynn Whitfield,
Yes.
who is a major star in her own right.
Absolutely.
And I
Yes.
just saw her on something, and when she was. You know, being interviewed and hosted and that kind of thing. So, you know, it's a national. It's in Baltimore.
Yes.
That's a hub of a lot of activity right
lot
around
of
the Washington
activity.
D.C. area.
Area.
So that's a national conference.
And that's why I chose to do Baltimore next year, because of the ability to reach a larger viewing audience and hopefully get some diversity with as far as different areas, and also allow the vendors that are going to be there to also, you know, be exposed to different people, to different areas, and make those connections, because I believe that they're entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And I'm big on entrepreneurs, and that's why I encourage women who think that they can't be entrepreneurs, or think that they reach a certain age in life that I can't do it. You know, yes, you can. You can go back to school. You can be an entrepreneur, and you can have all the dreams and goals you desire if you just put forth that effort.
That's
you
right.
know.
That's right.
Yes.
There's no question.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you know, I'm glad that you're going into the schools. And I'm glad that you're going into any center where there are people,
Right.
especially young people.
Yes.
Because young people have to hear
Yes.
these messages. And, you know, and I just hope we have more venues here in Harrisburg in which you can showcase and talk about, you know, the things you're talking about. Because, boy, we see a lot of stuff that makes us kind of down. I mean,
Yes.
you listen to the news enough or watch some of these programs, and you're like, wow, you know what I mean? You get cynical. And we're adults.
Right.
So you know what the young people are feeling, you
Yes.
know. And so we have to have more positive messages, and I'm glad that you're, you know, doing your work.
Well, it's really nice too, again, because one of the things I think you said as you look towards your future and some of the where you want to move, is that you're now being put in a position that you're going to be that leader, that person that's coming, you know, passing that baton and being able to help develop other young people.
Yes.
And getting them to find their voice and just to see how great they are.
Yes.
And what they can truly accomplish. So I really thank and respect you and wish you all the success with
Thank
all
you.
that you're doing. I just think it's really good. Just a wonderful testament
Thank
to
you.
your wanting to
Absolutely.
be of service in so
Yes.
many ways.
And I know
Yes.
you're deeply involved in your church as well. Talk
Yes.
about your church life and how that ties into everything.
My church is Greater Zion Missionary Baptist Church under Charles R. Molly. And I have loved, again, when I talk about service, and some of the book talks a little bit about my experience in my church family and those things and how I got to where I am today, being a motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, and also using my spirituality to help others understand who they are. And I always focus on 3 areas. I said, you know, it's about self-development, it's about self-motivation, and then self-discipline.
Yes.
And those are key things that we need to look at when we're trying to move forward in our life, because you can't, everyone can't motivate you. You have to be self-motivated. You have to motivate yourself.
Absolutely.
And so the church experience helped motivate me to do the things that I do, because it allowed me a foundation, a security that, you know, you can do and accomplish anything because you have God on your side, and trust and believe that He has paved the path for you. And when you're scared and fearful, you just ask Him for guidance and support. So that's why I lean on my church family for that, and I continue to do that. And I realize that God is the ultimate source of it all.
Right, yeah. And you don't just sit there waiting for something to happen. You make it.
You have to get out there and do it. It's, you know, he gives you those things, you know, but you have to get out there and put forth the effort. You just can't sit on it, you know. And a lot of people sit on their gifts and
They
their
really
talents.
do. Yeah,
Yes.
they really do. And they say, well, God gave you the opportunity for you to do it,
Exactly.
you know.
Yes.
And everybody
So,
has gifts,
yeah.
and they just have to, identify that self-evaluation.
Self-evaluation,
evaluation,
yes.
Being clear about what that is for me.
And that's why journaling is so important to me, because in that area you find out who you are, and then you figure out those intricate parts of yourself that will get you to the next stage and say, you know what, I really like doing it. Now, how can that turn that into something positive? How can I turn that into a lifestyle, something that I'll be happy to do every day, you know, and enjoy it. So yes.
You also created your conference out of an understanding of, you know, I guess an audience in which you wanted to, you know. So the Phenomenal Women's Conference is for women, and it's, you know, but did you find that men also, your work is resonating with men also?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there has been several men after putting on my first couple of conference saying, well, what about the men? You know, do you have a conference for the men? And I'm like, well, you know what? I haven't really thought about it, but you know, that's a great idea. And I'm sure there's things for men in Harrisburg.
Right.
I don't know if he was just pulling my chain, but I think that when you look at it,